Remember, with any screencast, you can always pause, replay the video at any time. Case Study 3, Landslides, a case of gravity and water. A landslide is the sliding downhill of loose rocks and soil. Landslides occur when gravity pulls on rocks and soil. You can see from the picture how a landslide has affected a huge scar that quickly led to further erosion. Landslides happen when the force holding soil or rock together are smaller than the force of gravity pulling them down. For example, fires sometimes burn the trees and brush on steep mountains. The roots of the trees and the brush help hold the soil in place. Once they are gone, the soil and rock slide down the slope. Once a landslide has occurred, the rate of erosion by water, gravity, and wind speed up. Erosion leads to more erosion. Rain can get into the rock and cause them to become unstable. When unstable rock and soil get wet, they get heavier. The force of gravity pulls them more strongly. Land often moves more after a soaking rain. As a child, you may have experienced the effects of a landslide yourself. If you try to build a sandcastle with very dry sand, the sand tumbles downhill as it is pulled by gravity. When you use moist sand, the sand particles stick together and the sandcastle remains sturdy. If too much water is added to the sand will become fluid-like and it will flow downhill. The extra water strains the force holding the sand together, and then gravity pulls the sand downward. Laguna Beach landslide. In 2005, the Laguna Beach landslide in California destroyed at least 11 homes. Many people were evacuated. However, this landslide could have been predicted according to many people. The landslide occurred because heavy rain from the months earlier accumulated in the ground. This wetness reduced friction between the rocks and the homes were built on and the underlying ground. Water accumulated in layers deep beneath the surface. If the water content of soil becomes high enough, the soil will flow like a fluid. At the Laguna Beach location, the soil deep beneath the surface became fluid-like and began to flow downhill. Drier soil and rocks from upper layers and the surface were carried along top of the flow. This caused the landslide to push and batter homes in its path instead of flowing around them. Landslides happen on steep slopes. Builders in Laguna Beach should have studied the conditions before building homes in the area, but many of the homes in the area were built before current building laws were in place. There are a lot of areas in Southern California that have similar conditions to those in Laguna Beach. The steep slopes and rainstorms in the coastal town of Laguna Beach, California have resulted in serious landslides, as many people anticipated. After the landslides in 2005, over 1,000 people were evacuated from 500 homes, and much property was destroyed or severely damaged. This ends Case 3.